Aye Marura Karaju Shalel Wu-Sabat, my beloved children of Wu-Sabat, Mukamen, you Melaninites, you are much more than you have been led to believe. Your Yakuza genes have been affected by what you intake, who you are around, and what you hear, see, feel, smell and taste. All effects change in your Mukwan being. When I taught you SABAT-U Sabans about the genetic kiss, the exchange of ifmayat body fluids, the very air you breathe, those who are around you, how it can affect you physically and mentally. Such as shape-shifting, transforming, morphing, and transfiguration, all this is real. And Pa Kakazu the Caucasoid brings you near to have an effect on both you as deity and them as demons, or you as 9 ether and them as 6 ether down to 5 ether. SABAT-U Sabans, I am here with you to show you how to transform back to Muakaku Etherians. Your Yakuza genes have always been the gateway. The key you hold to either Mawat death or elongated is Haya life. To be a genius or a mental slave to all that was fed to you in religion, that is perfect health and an agile mind, or Barasa leprosy, Murad's new sickness Kali disease. Neurological disease, birth defects taught your fate is determined by something or some unseen deity, a spirit being, by whichever attribute you're given. That your Yakuza genes are merely building blocks and a greater intelligence is in charge of whether you can or cannot think for yourself, how old you will be when you die, if normal, or die at a young age due to a genetic predisposition for cardiac arrest. Or some mystical tree in a Garden of Eden can give you eternal life by eating of it, as their Bible and Quran teaches fictional stories taken from stone tablets of beings who came to Mekwak Taha planet Earth. When in Hakak al-Hakak actual fact, your genetic determinism is that genes and the exclusion of environment or the field of your awareness and your experience determines how an organism turns out. You could call it the extreme version of natural nature versus nurture, where your DNA tells you everything you can know about what someone will be, your actual Qadar fate versus Thakak faith. You are taught that generational programming accounts for everything you are or can become. You have believed, accepted and become obsessed with genes, race, Sanfu species, yet in actual fact that you and all others now test for virtually everything from genes for breast or ovarian cancer to clues regarding ancestral roots. Know that such outformation to information is useful to you to know what is in you 4 generations back, who had what, who died of what, who suffered from what, and may have passed it on to you. However, that can be deceptively limiting. While you can learn if your great-grandparents were carnivorous or herbivores, were they hunters, killers, tall, short, fat, thin, diseased, insane, raped, enslaved, drug users, alcoholics? Did they have wabar nappy hair or fur? Was it camel black or saffron yellow? Their Lawan color? All kinds of genes, both wad good and dao bad. This can be found in your Yakuza genes. Is this your only fate? Can it be changed or altered? One of the greatest intellectual blocks to Sofui healing yourselves, to say nothing of overstanding and understanding this one Wahoo Makwin universe, is the assumption that Yakuza genes determine your reality and cannot be changed. Or the likelihood your lives and Nikab health will follow a predetermined path, generations without interference from outside forces and things. Such as mixing your seed with others who are not the same, who each have their own genetic history, 4 generations back. And can, by any contact, pass on into your being and in fact cause changes in you both mentally and physically. And what you think is love, is his Yakuza genes overpowering you. The assumption that you will not genetically be affected by others you come in contact with physically or mentally or programmed by is another fallacy, a lie. Cinema, Talfaz television, Masak music, Sawadit voices, Lawanit colors, smells, and environment all affect your inner and outer being. Munwapu Nuwapians, that you are just a combination of mechanical, chemical and hormonal interactions, what Euroscience would call modem medicine, are Kazabit lies. Even after the mapping out 3.6 billion base pairs in the human genome project, it turns out they are no closer to healing aberrant DNA than ever. Aberrant DNA is just a genetic term for any change in normal DNA from chromosome deletion or amplification, changes in the DNA pattern, etc. This is not including mutations, which would be indicated by a change in a single nucleotide or very short insertions or deletions in few nucleotides. While their scientists were looking at the 4 single letters in a protein recipe and investigating how they carry out bodily functions, they as Inashid and Nas forgetful beings to make room for divine consciousness. Other Salalu races besides the Kakazu Caucasoid, a big mistake on their part. Pa Kakazu the Caucasoid now know that all humanoids originated from the South African Sans people or Bushmen, also of Botswana. All traits of the humanoid races have these genetic markers that indicate who is who, and not being able to physically recognize these traits is what lets you know that race is washing out. For example, the creased forehead of the Atwayu Aborigine is found in the Sans people. The eyes of the Oriental is found on the Sans people. The dimpled chin of the Dravaju Dravidians, Indians of Asia, the original Black East Indian, an Andaman elder, who has the dimpled chin and nappy hair, also found in the Sans people of South Africa. The nappy hair of the Nagaru Negroids is also found in the Sans people. The only humanoid traits you will not find in the Sans people is the blue eyes and flank hair. Those traits being from another gene pool and is not naturally occurring in Fatar al-Fatar natural nature. They also now know that something or someone interfered with DNA once somewhere outside of Afef Re Ka Africa. The result being unknown DNA found in some races or unknown species they can't trace back. All they thought they knew about humanoids is now wrong. They also now know their religious stories of creation as found in Bible and Quran is not for all humanoids. That the Bible and Quran is only one short story of a hybrid race called Adam-U Adamites, the ruddy race made in the year 3761 BCE. By their own learnt rabbis' records that makes the race or tribes of the Bible and Quran the youngest breed on earth. Adam-U Salal Adamite race of hybrids is only 6,000 years old and the root of most disease, virus that once they mixed with others, spread. The last race to be made 6,000 years ago was Adamite, Nordic white, humans kind of story, Caucasoid ruddy, beasts. Their Bible calls them 1. Adamites, 2. Edomites, 3. Canaanites lepers. Both words are the same in meaning by roots, the white race ruddy, flush, fair, rosy. Later in their Bible, Quran, they or some of them were cursed. Genesis 9:25, and he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren." The results was Barasa leprosy. Leviticus 13:1-59, leper as white as snow, sapphire farar, thin hair which meant fur like all other animals. Leviticus 14:34, when ye be come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession. This is the origin of the last race on earth as recorded in their own religious story history. They now know that ancient humanoids bred with unknown species. They uncovered a new species they call the Denisovan, a group first discovered in Siberia or the Middle East in 2010 AD, and they contain unknown DNA not linked to known DNA. This is just one of many found. The Caucasoid do not want to make these actual facts known because they now know they were made, grafted, and only 6,000 years ago. They have also uncovered scrolls in 1947 AD, called the Dead Sea Scrolls, which expose lost books of their now Bible and Quran that tell stories they don't want public, as well as expose stories of the New Testament shakas you people and more on how Jesus had a Hamadat wife and 2 Karaji children by Mary of Mamla, Ethiopia, things they don't want exposed. And even worse, now they know that their Bible and Quran were taken out of the Sumerian stone tablets which was found in 1845 AD, and tell who made Adam and Eve when and why, who their real God and gods were, and so much more. Their real name exposed places, times that in fact Wu-Sabat Mother extraterrestrials made them only 6,000 years ago. Then put them under a hijab spell to make them forget their own past. And now it has been exposed that the religions of Abrahamism, Mosesism, Jesusism and Mohammedism was made up by other religions that predate them, such as Hinduism, Druidism, Wiccanism and Zoroastrianism. All they believe they now find out is not true. Stories of other cultures made to control them, to civilize the savage beast in them by one of the Anunnaki, who was called in the book of Ezekiel, Christ, Tammuz. Ezekiel 8:14, then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house which was toward the north, and, behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz, a son of mother Inanna and father Dumuzi. Inanna is the daughter of Nan-Nar and Ningal, while Dumuzi is the son of Enki and Ninki. Now they know their real story and don't like what they have found about their Salal race and other races, about their Bible and Quran. All the sects, denominations, cults of them were all from the Sumerian stone tablets by extraterrestrials they now known as the Anunnaki, and others who grafted and made them to be slave workers, then bara food. You supreme beings, you Mukamen, you Kuraj, you Melanonite children of Pa Shamash the sun. Know who you are, not what you became in this new 6,000-year world of Kazabat lies and Muksab, you liars. Before you, the Kamam Salal black race, there was none in the Jasad flesh. Before, Lawan color, there was Kamam Nashat black energy. 76% of this Von Makwin universe and black material, 24% of this universe. So black exists before any and all colors. It's supreme balance. Kamam black was, Lawan at colors are, and Laban white became. So, before Nar light, which is the source of chaos, there was Rawan dark, hate bliss, with Laban white came Babel chaos in this universe. One of multiverses, all of the Kali Makwin at omniverse, all is Kamam black. All colors hazes vibrate to exist. Laban white is not a color. In actual fact, it is void of Lawan color, so in fact it is void of vibration, and color expresses emotions, or color is energy in motion, which creates mood. Nuwapians, pigmentation or coloration is activated by motion in material matters, tissue, skin, sabag hue. Dahan pigment is from Latin pingere to paint. The Kamum Salal black race vibrates much faster and thereby is much stronger and darker. We have Tasu Sabag 9 hues in our divine race and Tasu Sanfu 9 species of 9 characteristics, as the parent Melaninite children from whom all others were born, made, grafted or cloned. The very Wahan first and will be the very last. And the very Medat word melanin is from the Greek word melis black. Because of the white race's lack of melanin, as Nordics from the Kama Euclideans, they were told that they must mix their seed with people of color in order to stay on this Kawak Taha planet Earth and avoid death by way of melanoma, Greek melis black and oma mass, a form of skin tumor, resulting in skin cancer which is a malignant tumor, cancerous, carcinogenic, virulent. They were informed that within every 400 years they must mix their seed with persons of color or they would die out, with their Rh negative blood types originally. And the black race has the most melanin. This is the real reason that out of all races on this planet the Afef-Re-A-Ka-U Africans, blacks were most often enslaved and raped by others. It is the root of their vampire story in Slavic, a word meaning slaves, or slavish, blindly dependent such as in faith. It is all about black stamum blood, positive blood types originally, the Yakaza genes to get to Siam Akal divine mind. Melanin is a chemical that changes Nar light or Nashid energy from one state or level to another or from one form to another. Melanin is of biological importance, for melanin is present in a layer in the ectoderm. Found in the early fetus 9th week and is one of 3 primary germ layers. 1. Endoderm 2, ectoderm 3, mesoderm. It is the outermost of the orb of cells that first forms from the union of the Mata sperm and the Hathith egg, ovum and then contains a collection of black pigmented cells. The ectoderm is very, very critical because in time as the orb or ball of cells mature and become larger, the ectoderm invigorates and then moves into the internal part of the orb ball of cells and forms the brain and spinal cord. So SABAT-U Saban of Wu-Sabat, in a very important way, your Dhamma brain and spinal cord originates from a melaninated layer of cells in the early fetus so that melanin is in some ways the very central axis around which the brain and spinal cord organize and form themselves. In terms of the ion eye, Yazan ear, Kashar skin, anti-cancer, anti-age, melanin in the Dhamma brainstem to being a Shaya gateway to the unconscious. There are so many areas of the human body in which melanin plays a very critical role. Melanin is in actual fact the final common pathway for many of the most important neurotransmitters of the brain, such as the catecholamines, epinephrines, norepinephrine, indolemines, serotonin, melatonin and on and on. Note Sabans that it is an actual fact that all forms of life have melanin from the original. Even Garazet plants as well as Hoan animal life. You asked me about photopigment, that is a pigment or a chemical that captures light. Sabans there are many cases of photopigments. In plants, we call it chlorophyll. In animals, we call it melanin. They chlorophyll and melanin are both of the category called photopigments. When we look to the past, way back in Wakwa time and observe those forms of life that are both plant and animal, note there are some things like that. Then in that early form the melanin is present in some very early more primordial state. That was interior to them both. So in fact, melanin is the substance that grows skin pigmentation in humanoids. The stronger the genes, the faster the motion, the darker the Jace Sabag skin hue. So, this should be clear that the black race is in fact the oldest and strongest, both physically and mentally. That is to say the greater the amount of melanin the darker the skin color. The African black race is in fact the supreme beings from whom all others have come forth. Why? Because among all humanoids, be they the browns, aborigines, Indians, yellows, Asians, Chinese, Koreans, Japanese or the Arabs, reds and whites, Caucasoid of Europeans are to Adamites and Canaanites, the weakest of all the other humanoid races on planet Earth, Sector 24, are of the same root genes. And of all the blacks, Afef-Re-A-Ka-U Africans generally have the highest level of melanin in their bodies. And Nuwapians, because the Dhamma brain and spinal cord have a melanin origin, the fact remains that black people have the highest levels than others. Black people of African origin are physically and intellectually more advanced than the other races and their strength is revealed by their nappy hair texture. As you see, even a newborn black babies may have thin to curly fur and as they grow stronger their far fur transforms into nappy wabar hair, from 6 to 9 is shaped from the roots that are caused by their genes becoming stronger. Make note Nuwapians of that, which makes the African, black race unique, the Nagar Negroids who are the only race with 9 ether wabar hair, all others as well as animals have 6 ether far fur. So, Sabans, this is to say that our melanin leads to genetic superiority. We as the African black race have much more brain powers and we have a wider array of options of our behaviors and Sakamat powers to reply to and are able to experience a much wider array of inputs. That is, receive outformation as sound right reasoning in the form of waves from the Kalimakwinat omniverse and our own Salafu ancestors of higher realms who transmit by Nawar light, Lawan color and sound waves on our own frequencies AFC or A flat, A sharp, F flat, F sharp, C flat, C sharp, or that AFC majors equals the 9 natural tones of Haya life. Refer to actual fact number 18 tone, sound, DNA molecules, vibrational frequencies. In looking at the melanic tracts in the brainstem from the evolutionary standpoint, the earlier life forms will have fewer points of pigmented nuclei along the black nerve pathway. There are 12 centers found pigmented in humanoids. The underdeveloped forms will have fewer, 3 to 6. The more developed or phylogenetically advanced the life form, the greater the number of the 12 will be pigmented. Humanoids with 46 chromosomes are the only ones who have all 12. Their nearest relative, the chimpanzee, who has 48 chromosomes, has 11 of the 12 pigmented. The one that is pigmented in humanoids yet, not in chimpanzee, is the locus coeruleus, a name that means centric point or black dot. And it is the Kabat center of what is involved in the initiation of dreams, the time when we actually seek our own unconscious content. This does not mean the others and hominid animals do not have dreams. My beloved Karaj, you children of the black race of Wu-Sabat, the absence of melanin is directly associated with the malfunctioning of the central nervous system. This is why the lighter the person, the more spasmodic or spastic paralysis. And this is why the white race is so stiff, rigid, with limited movement of body fluency and suffer so, as well as lack of rhythm and the ability to rockwas dance to a rhythm. The melanin links to your ba soul, they lack soul even in their masak music. Without numbers, there is no rhythm or rhyme, just jumping and yelling and screaming, so what noise? This is the results of the white race's low level of melanin and must avoid the sun's direct rays, which can and will kill them. So, in actual fact, the presence of melanin and how much is in the Kadat body is directly associated with the proper functioning of the central nervous system. Now let us reason together. In the beginning were the suns, and the suns are within Fatrial Fatar natural nature, and the suns are natural nature. The suns, the true Kakabat stars, are Pa-Nadir-U, the overseers who grew absolute natural nature from and of omniverse all into universe, the all. So, know this, truth is unity and falsehood is division. Truth is unity because the pieces of the true jigsaw puzzle fit neatly together as one unit. And falsehood is division because it is just the opposite. So, if you look at the Bible and Quranic religion, that of the Adamites ruddy race down to Mohammedite, also of the ruddy race, what do you see? Sectism, cultism, denominations. Many different schools of thought in Mosesism, Jesusism, Muhammadism. Many different synagogues, churches, mosques, temples, lodges. Many different scriptures, scrolls, books. By different Zazazu men and Zazastatu women who created their own laws, traditions, rules, and commandments. Many different dress codes, do's and don'ts, ways of life, cultures, and morals. They avoid the Torah or its offshoot, the Old Testament, the Revelation or its offshoots, the New Testament, the Quran or its offshoots, the Last Testament. And which is better, yet they replace the original. You get Talmud, Madras, Midrash, Gospels, Epistle, Hadith, Sunnah. Now look at what these religions yielded world over since the year 3761 BCE, the Jews' own calendar date for the making of Adam, who they call the very first of mankind. Then Fair Yal Fatar natural nature Ka'asud, meaning of the Madat word positive Tasu 9 ether used in this work is the condition of natural nature moving toward standards, values, and qualities that grow better and higher toward perfection, and Rawen Nashit dark energy space, Rawen dark matter material and time, that moment by rules and Najam order, and also ascending Kayu's reason. That moment is the speed of a thought, 24 billion miles per moment. It is the speed of your mind. Just off Kur, think of any place on the other side. The UN natural nature Ka'asud, meaning of the word negative, 6 ether, is just the opposite of positive. What's more in these works is the actual fact that when I inscribe as an advocate of Wu-Nuup, the correct outformation into information here refers to time and material and space being absolute individually. By absolute, I mean unlimited or absolute together with each other. The number Tasu 9 represents the true positive and absolute natural nature, and the number Satu 6 symbolizes the negative that is unnatural nature, naturally and factually mankind made on the 6th day, Tamu 6 3761 BCE. The Shannon circle of Bara space, Madad material and Wakwa time is called the circle of order and of Dower its cycles, the Zalak essence, the Dower cycle of time. These are the circles, and it's all about the 24,000 year cycles of 4 6,000 year cycles. You have 4 grand cycles, Oregon 96000 Shamadat years. You are now in the new 24,000-year cycle starting after the year 2000 AD, which was the year 6000 of the Adamite calendar, to separate the two cycles of Najm order and of Babel chaos. The cycle of order is also the cycle of cosmos, and the cycle of chaos is also the primordial chaos. Bara space, Madad material, Waqt time, Najm order, Babel chaos. Of course, cosmos means infinite matter and universal order, and Manush primordial Babel chaos means infinite material in formless disorder. That is to say, material matter without form, figure or shape. In order to understand Nun, the mental and ethereal science of Wu Nawap is the Tasu 9 outformational news, it is most important that you as Nuwapian students of the information as presented herein understand this Najm order and Babel chaos, Shannonite circles and Dowrit cycles in upcoming teachings and doctrine, and describing and explaining to them Nun is pronounced Noon. 3 new bowls represent Nun in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, the script of our Salafu ancestors, which was used to keep pictured Sajal at records of the past. They spoke SABAT-U Sabbatic and also had a script for its use. It was all about keeping your Akal mind clear by right knowledge, right wisdom and right understanding to right overstanding, which grows sound right reasoning intellect, since Kayu's reason is the Zahan intelligence Madat word. And the intelligence power of Wu Nuup must define and identify it as the beginning of this work. Pa Sadar, the origin or the etymological and literal Kaasud meaning of the word, is the son of Re and the son of Ra. And the sons of Pa Re, the son of course translated and shortened and in time became Ra and or Re, Renanit names or attributes of son. Sun deity, sun god, and Pa Shamash at the son of this one universe of the multiverse of the Kalimakwanat omniverse, all. Inside this universe is found Fatar Yul Fatar natural nature and now unnatural nature, which are indeed the sources of universal reason. Re is only one of many sons as Shamash is only one of the many physical sons of the illumination. Because in actual fact their Dhamma at brains, once in physical bodies, are located in their Kabadat centers, their head and solar plexus, which produce solar systems and bio-middle. Physical systems, biophysics, solar system, solar plexus. Natural natures work for mind and are able to use reason. Sun deities, male and female Melaninite children, African Negroid race. And Sunday is their holy day when they gather to pray. You will also find in the Bible of the Adam Salal Adamite race, the Rudizaz's man, pale Laban Salal white race, that their deity is called the sun. Psalm 84:11, Psalm 89:36, Isaiah 60:19, Malachi 4:2. Psalm 84:11, for the Lord God is a sun and shield, the Lord will give grace and glory, no good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. Psalm 89:36, his seed shall endure forever, and his throne is the sun before me. Isaiah 60:19, the sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. Malachi 4:2, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth, and grow up as calves of the stall. The real scientific and right wisdom Kaasud meaning of the word Kayu's reason is the intellect, best mind, and intelligence, intelligenetic, informed genes, absolute, infinite, eternal, Fatar Yul Fatar natural nature, and the mental soul creator of all persons, places and things, natural and unnatural or artificial. The natural race of tides, blacks of Africa, Ptah, the son of Re and Re-Atat, Tatu or opener. Yet, the unnatural race of Adamite Murmur Reds and Mulban whites of Europe, those made by extraterrestrials who were pale-skinned, who had to hide from Pa Shamash at the sun's rays. They came to this planet from Pleiades and was used by a high group of extraterrestrials, who were shapeshifters that come down to this planet long before from Nibiru. They were called Anunnaki. Together they made the unnatural natured race of Adamites and their offspring such as Cainites, Sethites, Enashites, Giborites, and down to the cursed seed of Kinu Canaanites, cursed, pale, white as snow with Barasi leprosy. The race of Babel chaos and disease. Yet, the unnatural race of Adamites, Edomites, came down from the mountains, caves, and hillsides as Cro-Magnon, raping others of the Kamam Salal black race of Afef Re Ka Africa, the brown race of India and Australia, and the Musfuru yellow races from Asia. Much has been kept from you over these past 24,000 Shamadat years, and mostly in the past 6,000 of Zamus Mi Khanat religious teachings by them Pa Mudwaju the evil ones and their Mulganit teachings/doctrines of Loy Tan and Leviathan of Wakan Wiccan cults. From Druid cults which became the many religious sects of Mesopotamia to Jerusalem to Arabia, to the Romans and the Greeks, and spread to Paul world over. Yet, their misfa'at books called the Torah and or the Gospels and or the Quran keeps much hidden from all. This is done by mistranslations. This is also done by interchanging the Qassid at meanings of Madadat words. 8 ceremonies of the year known as Shabbat celebrated by Wiccan/Druid cults which originated from the spring Bacchanalia orgies 200 BCE, of the Greek god of wine and intoxication, Dionysus, and the Saturnalia festival 217 BCE, of the Roman god of agriculture, Saturn. During the witch hunts of the Middle Ages, Wiccan Shabbats were depicted as meetings of obscene behavior such as worshipping and copulating with a devil figure after dancing and feasting on hominid animals or an unbaptized Maoist baby. Also called the sex Sabbat, Beltane is Baal Middle. A procession includes the merging of winter and summer by a symbolic Mawat death of winter and a resurrection of the dead earth, through Janus sex and thus a rebirth of summer. Participants also jump the Baal fire in honor of the god Bel or Baal for purification or good luck with fertility. This Sabbat is believed to be a 3-day doorway opening between the physical world and the Nafas al-Tapal spiritual world. Dead Salafu ancestors are called to the physical realm for an offering. Participants dress up, blue and blacken themselves and pull mischievous tricks on others. Or they may dress as Ka'at spirits and housewives would give them treats or offerings to avoid bad luck on their households. Bonfire and stories are told of the departed, ghost stories. All to keep Pa-Hajay Shalel Nawam the spell of sleep, ignorance, over you, the pure seed of the Paha hot heavens above Sabat Sirius star constellation and Sa Orion star constellation, your original Kalun Twi homes. Seeks to get inside your head to rule your Katat body and take your Ba soul, to control your emotions. Because you are physical yet you're much more than physical. The physical body of living Kayat creatures as well as humans is not solid material or matter. It is composed of particles, even milieu waves. The humanoid body, Bashar flesh and a jambone is an electromagnetic semiconductor and they seek to tap into yours. The same way you can tap into radio signals. The tendons, a Greek word tainein as you see close to tannin, tynan, to stretch in Greek, these are any of the inelastic cords of tough connective tissue by which muscles are attached to the adjumant bones and you know Musbat Wu-Sabat that inside the bone is the seat of Haya life and the damam blood with the marrow Old English merg the soft, fatty tissue that fills the cavities of most bones and cleanse the damam blood within 6 to 9 weeks. So, the tendons are in fact composed of twisted collections of collagen fibers. Collagen is a fibrous protein in bone and cartilage. In Hakak fact the tendons are composed of a twisted collection of collagen bundles. Each one composed of collagen fibers. Collagen fibers are composed of collagen fibrils. Fibrils or fibrillation Latin fibra cord. Fibrils assembles of molecules secreted outside of specialized connective tissue cells called fibroblasts. Connective tissue fibers are arranged in highly regular arrays. Highly regular paralleled array of molecules whether it's in a liquid or solid form, it's called a bilar crystal. The word in English, crystal, is from Greek crystallis ice like Creo's frost. The collagenous molecules in which all your organs are encased function as a system of liquid crystals. Crystals which are a highly ordered array of molecules are found in several different kinds of tissue, including the DNA and Yakuza genes. The photosensitive rod and cone cyacate cells at the back of the ion eye. The myelin sheath of nerve cell. The collagen molecules that make up connective tissue, muscle tissue's densely packed molecules of actin and myosin, the phospholipids of cell membranes. Bilaret crystals conducts radio waves and are semiconductors. This crystalline structure of the collagen molecules that make up mamam human connective tissue is a semiconductor. Each salal race, lawan color, wabar hair, nappy/kinky, or farar fur texture is unalike in many ways. Each has their own station or wavelength of communications of ones and waves, colors and sawadat sounds that affect the Dhamma brain and as such the emotional state of Akal mind. Semiconductors are not only able to conduct Nashit energy, they conduct out formation into information, if you are well connected to your own station. And many other abilities, other properties. Semiconductors are able to store Nashit energy, even amplify signals, filter information, and move in one direction yet not in another. Emotions, E equals energy, motions equal movements. So in fact Madadat words, sounds, tones, tazuz at vibrations, waves, organized into structured words, affect you. Even the sound of a person's voice just as the roar of a lion or gunshot. For a person to raise their voice at you also affects your emotional state of mind. Anger affects your whole Kadat body and Dhamma brain, emotional reactions and actions. So, in fact, the connective tissue system can also process out formation into information making you a receiver. You as Nagar Naji Negroids are linked to the Kali Makwanat Omniverse, the nine-mind deity of deities, and your connective tissue system is suited for the task of conveying both energy and outformation into information because it connects every part of your Mukwan being to Kadat body, to every other part. To control you, they, the Mudwa devil must have you Sajuk trust them, what they say, how they say it, what they look like, how they look at you. The best and easiest way to do this is image projection into your mind's eye. Refer to Pa Tarak, the mind's eye. This is done with faith in their Shabbat image of God as mortal or tie-off ghost that is physical or spirit. This was done with their religion spread the world over, their Madadic words, Bible and Quran, their physical prophets, apostles, saints, disciples, companions, angels, Mahdi's, messiahs, Lord, God, in some way in their own image as you see Mutayaf ghosts, spirits as white, ghost as white, angels as white, Jesus as white, Mary as white, Muhammad in their drawings with white hands. Yet, they oftentimes cover his Wajaj face and only showing his Yashar family members as white or light, only the devil is dark. This is projected into your being when just a Quran child. They are the heroes on TV, the captains on police force or sheriff departments, judges, lawyers, prosecutors, bail bondsmen, landlords, teachers and preachers. They project their of authority as found in Revelation 13:2. Genesis 1:28 gave them dominion 6,000 years ago. Their Adam or Cain or Canaan in the year 4000 BCE to 2000 AD equals 6,000 years. They will say creation started in the year 4004 BCE. Their anointed, Messiah, cherub, fallen angel, will return Ezekiel 28:1-26. He will return Revelation 13:9-18 as lightning falling from above. Luke 10:18 an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14 the man of sin. 2 Thessalonians 2:1-4 as a part of the star alignment of December 21, 2012 AD. Revelation 22:16 the bright and morning star or Isaiah 14:7-28 verse 12 Lucifer genes, mark of the beast. So much grafting was done, genetic manipulation resulting in much mutations, much evolutions. That birthed all kinds of non-perfect creatures, deformed humans, and disease such as Barasa leprosy of Pa Kakas Naju Salal the Caucasoid race of rosy, red, ruddy people, Adamites, Edomites, which are the same word in Hebrew, same letters because the original Lahaj language you call Hebrew from Chaldea had no vowels or dots. Mark, Adam or Edom the same blush red persons who have the curse of Barasa leprosy Pa Kakas Naju Salal the Caucasoid races. How did all of this start? You seek to know Musbat Usabans. They Gayur a Wakwad at altered times. They Gayur a Tarik at altered dates. They Gayur a Maknan at altered places. They even interchanged Shakas you persons and Mukaya you creatures. Much tag shush deception is Lakna taught by them in the form of Thakak faith and Akwad belief. That is, don't Shaul ask Tamim Lai exactly what does this or that word mean? So, in their deceptions they say we have the Seder al original copies. What does that Kasud mean? It means they don't Hakak actually have the originals. None of them have the originals of their scriptures. Each claim what they have is copies from Zakar a memory of Zaz's men. Also, when asked, is the Torah in the original Lahajat language to which Moses, Musa claimed to have received it 4,000 Shamatit years ago, they will have to say, no. Also, when asked is the gospel in the original Lahaj language to which Yeshua, Jesus, Isa, or his original Mutbayu followers received them 2,000 years ago, they also will have to say, no. Also, when asked is the Quran in the original language to which Muhammad received it 1,400 years ago, they will also have to say, no. None of them have their originals nor is what they have in the original Lahaj language. So, their Tatramat translations are in fact not from the originals. Those who receive what they teach are not from the originals. Much deception, mistranslations and Katu wrong interpretations and misguided commentary. You can find in their books and Hakiyat stories, about Kayat creatures and Munmaku freaks. Yet, if you ask them do you really believe that this creature exists, they will say, no. Even, if you ask, what is a chimera, or a griffin, ghoul, specter, tie-off ghost, mermaid, demon, vampire, witch, warlock, lycan, satyr, dragon, unicorn, burak, giant, gummel camel, 90-foot tall atom, giant monster Dogon fish man with Gana at wings, talking serpent, Latuk talking mule, Dabat beast, Mudbab lizard man with Sabu Rias at 7 heads and Ashu 10 horns, flying man. So, I, Yaa-Nun, was raised up among you out of the east, Africa unto the west to bring to you a Siam Bala divine message called Wu-Sabat and to also teach you SABAT-U Sabatic and call you Musbat Usaban to set up a land, Nuupia, for a landing site for your Salafu ancestors to return and lift those of you who have perfected their beings, cleaned inside out and outside in. Your DNA as males is from Sa Orion. Your DNA as females is from the Sabat Sirius star systems and the Greys from Zeta beneath Orion's 3 Shamash at suns or the belt. So, in actual fact the Afef Re Ka Usalal African race are of Sayam divine origin and are in fact Karaju children of the Najuru overseers. This is seen as a bacteria implanted in your genetics as hominid genome. This was done by Pa-Nagur-Yu, the overseers from Sa Orion and Sabat Sirius. Your carbon C6 base form as black as coal, grow from H1, He, C6, N7, O8, 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 24, hydrogen equals 1, helium equals 2, carbon equals 6, nitrogen equals 7, oxygen equals 8, and all 24. There have been 223 uncovered Mu-Zayad Muthatal Yaa-Kazid extraterrestrial genes in your 24,000 genomes that travel in sets of 3 on the Yaa-Kazid genes, so they in fact implanted some of their own DNA into your own. You are encoded as Sayam divine. Black matter equals 24%, black energy equals 76%. Dark energy is expanding, dark matter is being pulled as the Wahoo Makwin universe speeds up to freeze. Pa-Makwak Taha, the planet Earth or the Maya water world, is moving at a speed of 135 miles per second. You have been hypnotized 6,000 years ago by Mukshaftat-Yu, witches of Waken Uzam Wicca religion. The cursed evil seed of Onash-Enos, Onash-Yu Inashit son of Shathoth Seth, Shathoth-Yu Sethite son of Adam Adam-Yu Adamites made by Naphal-Yu failing ones of Anakim. Anunnaki called Elohim, Al-Haadi, in the Bible and Quran. The Anunnaki used the Kama-Yu Pleiadians Nordic whites DNA to graft and make Adam-Yu Adamites ruddy fair to Quanan-Yu Canaanites to Mubers-Yu leper, Kin-Yu Canaanites. Their seeds were grafted, made and born 3761 BCE or 4004 BC, as the learnt Rabbi of Judaism record, and was only given 6,000 years to enforce their Hajj Shalel Nawam hypnotic spell of sleep over you, train you to be pets, cattle, which expired 2000 to 2003 AD, which is 6000 AC. AC is Adam's calendar. This is the gospel from the beginning of beginnings. This is from the beginning, which we have seen, which we have looked at and watched and have taught. Humans are the only creatures that know they will one day die. This has affected human thinking as the birth of if, Kawaf fear. Don't let others cause your Mawat death before your physical or mental time. Kawaf fear came with uncertainty, or that leads to Tana faith and Akwat at beliefs that became religions of beliefs, to hopes and desires. This, I, Yaa-Nun, proclaim concerning you and your life as Musbat-Yu Saban. Life is both physical and spiritual. It appears we see them in actions and testifies to them. I, Yaa-Nun, proclaim to you the eternal soul, who is connected to the Kali Makwin at Omniverse from this Von Makwin universe and has manipulated through us here on physical earth. So, I proclaim to you that you can see and hear, so that you also may have links to all, as all of you, out the all. Know this, left brain is male power, analytical, and right brain is Asha female, images. These two must become one for perfection of thinking and doing, Nashit energy in motion or emotional beings, Ba soul. This is the symbol of the braid worn on the left or right side by the holder of the double helix of the mitochondria DNA of female or mother of us both. And the male wears his meatal braid in the back to relate it to the back of the medulla oblongata, yet both mother and father, male and female, need to connect and use the frontal lobe of the brain and Nana's Gadat pineal gland, like the pine cone to the evergreen. The third eye or the pineal gland, a pine cone in the brain. It has much more power than you now use or overstand. So, we as Sabat-Yu Shalel Wu-Sabat wear the Patar or Nasa's kawas on our forehead, as a symbol of awareness of the pine cone of the evergreen tree of eternal life. Women wear it as a jewel, males have a choice to wear it as a marked cone-shaped point upward, not as a jewel red or white or both. If you look in the hand of the Anunnaki, you will see some holding a pine cone, the sign of everlasting life, the tree of life, the evergreen or emerald. This is why we wear what the Hindus call the bindi. And make note, we have our own stuff.